Hello, Janksters, and welcome to another edition of the MagicJank podcast, the show where members of Team MagicJank get together and we talk about the latest happenings in Magic. And it's been a little while since we've been recording, or since we've released a show. That is 100% my fault. Aim all direction here at Hammox42. That's my bad. But we're back in the saddle, and I'm excited. And I'm joined by two lovely individuals, and we've got a lot to cover because the past 2 weeks have been pretty wild. So I'm joined by the one and only Astralsflame. Dude, how's it going, man?
That's going good, Ham. How you doing?
Living the dream. Yeah. No, busy, but no complaints. And yeah, and then we also have Damien F16 in the house. Damien, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. Doing lots of different things these days, playing lots of different games. October's been a crazy month for games, but Magic not doing so much of. But I don't know. We'll get into that, I guess. But and you've been busy. You were doing that play recently. How did your first? Was it the last weekend?
Right.
Yes. Yeah, this past weekend. So I'm stage managing a play for the first time. Which is a big part of the reason rehearsal schedule has been pretty gnarly these last few weeks. Which it's been fantastic. We opened this past weekend, and we had 3 shows, sold out every night, and got awesome reviews.
Yeah.
It's a devised horror show, so it's totally original stuff, and it's Halloween themed, and a lot of the cast actually helped write it. And there's actually so I'm stage managing it, but there is actually one, it's like it's an Are You Afraid of the Dark style thing where it's like counselors at camp telling stories to each other around a campfire kind of a vibe. And there is one of the stories that I actually wrote. And there's something about watching really talented actors say words you put down. It's like, what is happening? It's the coolest thing. So no, it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a fantastic opening weekend, and we got another one coming up this weekend. And then I'm actually going to be back to more steady content production after that, because I'll have some time to breathe. But yeah, so no, thanks for asking. I appreciate it. It was great. Yeah. And so next weekend, if anybody's going to be in Ypsilanti, Michigan, Black Cat Folklore put on by the Neighborhood Theater Group, I believe tickets are still available, so come check it out. Yeah.
Ypsilanti sounds like it's like a fantasy location, an ancient
It is.
elven city or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's in Illinois.
Oh, let me tell you the story of the siege of Ypsilanti. Yeah, totally. It's absolutely.
It's great.
410 months ago in Ypsilanti, my forefathers stood on the very hill in the Ypsilanti War of 1815.5.
That
it
works.
was a 0.5 because we weren't even there a full year.
Or
No.
hey guys, how long is this going to take? My guild's raiding Ypsilanti later. Are we gonna?
That actually works so well.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. But yeah,
That sounds good.
So no, so that's my neck of the woods, everybody. Yeah, but anyway, fun times. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Because Magic has been going through a lot of changes recently. Which and a lot of thoughts are coming as it relates to that. So we'll get into kind of more discussion on Universes Beyond, which I feel like we keep touching on every single week because there's always more to talk about on that front, because it's just defining what it is what it is. And so that's going to be a big bulk of probably the latter half of this episode. But there are a couple of other details that I wanted to touch on before we get there. Specifically that there's going to be a new draft environment coming to Arena. There's a vintage power cube that we're going to be getting on Arena soon, which is going to be pretty darn cool. There's also apparently a limited championship, which just got announced recently, today, if I'm not mistaken. So we don't have a ton of details on that, but at the very least, we want to gush about the fact that competitive limited is still being supported, because that's incredible. And then Wizards also released a survey that was an experience. I don't know if you guys had a chance to do that, but I
saw it. Well, tell us what it said, Jam. What did it ask?
Yeah, so
exactly.
Let's start with that.
2 questions in particular that it asked.
So I decided, so I started, when I do my live streams, twitch.tv/hammox42, just saying, when I'm doing my live streams, I usually start with a half an hour of banter at the top, while instead of a BRB screen, I just kind of hang out and talk with folks about whatever's going on. And, one of my chatters just mentioned hey, you could just go take the survey that they did. And I was expecting it to be 4 or 5 pages and just sure, we'll knock out a little survey and we'll see some of these rage bait questions in context and see how bad are they really. It took me an hour and a half to complete that damn thing. I have had final exams for 400 level college courses that were quicker than that thing. It was ridiculous. It was enormous. And whoever coded that, it was a third-party company that Wizards worked with to put that thing together and release it. the data that it collects, I'm sure, is going to be truly useless, because there were questions about, for this set, how many dollars did you spend on it and how many boxes did you purchase of different products, which, okay, you want to know what we bought. Okay, fine, I get that. But like, how many collector booster boxes of Spider-Man did you buy? You know, the acceptable data range, it was like, the top end was like 9, it was like 10, it was like 100,000 or whatever, which sure, whatever. But the minimum
Money, dollars worth?
no, how many units did you buy? No, there, and how many dollars? But yeah, which whatever. But like, I mean, store owners and stuff, I guess. But like, they just made the data, like, it was just huge.
Yeah.
But the minimum number was 1. Not
no
0.
Huh?
Not even 0. What?
Not 0.
That's
and so
funny.
like, they literally forced me to lie and tell them that I purchased these products when I did not. Which
that's crazy.
that data is useless. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's ridiculous.
And the other question that they asked was also useless, and this was the question that a lot of people, I've heard LSV talk about this, and other limited, almost everybody's podcast, they bring this up. I think MTG Goldfish just mentioned it as well. What was the actual question that went viral? What did it ask?
The question was, something to the effect of, did content creators negative comments about Spider-Man impact your enjoyment of the set? And then that was also followed by a follow-up question saying, oh, you acknowledge that you watch Magic content creators. Who do you watch? Like, please name them.
Yeah. And I mean, the first question had a bizarre range as well. Like, the fact that they put the word negative in there, did content creators negatively affect your perception of the set? And the range was like, no, they didn't negatively. They greatly affected my opinion of the set negatively. Like, I don't know. It was such a weird answer. Like, the answer didn't even line up. Kind of, it didn't make sense.
It kind of felt like they were fishing for a scapegoat. Is absolutely what it felt like. Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, as a content creator, that is a weird kind of slap in the face. Like, wow, are they, like, again, if you're a content creator that's like trying to build a rapport with Wizards because you want to, establish a strong relation, you want them to give you free stuff, you want them to give you a whatever card, a spoiler card or whatever, and you want to be invited to the events and stuff. You kind of have to be a cheerleader for them a lot. And
Totally.
when they do stuff like that, it almost feels like, oh my God, like, so if my fans are being asked this question, then it literally, it's like they're sniffing around to see, if I've said anything negative. And that's kind of like really undermining my content in a way. Like, people are going to assume that if I don't say anything negative, it's because I don't want any impact from Wizards. So like, what does that, the perception of me look like after that? Like, am I just a shill? Like, it feels really bad.
It's like eyes on the back of everyone at that point, right? Like, you say one thing bad, like, who's watching really at that point? Like, it's troublesome.
And I mean,
it's scary, actually, in a way.
Yeah, it's not cool, that's for sure, if you're a content creator. But but even for the people watching the content creators, when they see a question like that, it almost feels like, oh, like, if they're actively monitoring for this, like, what does that do to my perception of the streamers in general who are sponsored by Wizards? Like, are they all shills? Are they all like trying to toe the line because these are the kind of questions they ask us? The viewers. Like, it's a really effed up situation. But Blake, for what it's worth, went on the whatever Magic Daily or whatever that show they do every week.
Weekly MTG.
Daily MTG. Yeah. And he did say that it was a mistake. Apparently, they weren't supposed to put the word negative. They use that question a lot on surveys, but they never have the word negative in there. And he blamed this third party company as well for coming up with dumbass questions. But anyway, so that was kind of a debacle. And a lot of content creators were like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah, just asking, were content creators influential in your purchasing decisions? That's a fair question, but so
sure,
I can appreciate that.
And sometimes they'll affect it negatively. Like, I mean, a lot of people crapped all over Spider-Man. I don't shy away from criticizing Wizards, as you guys know. So Spider-Man, I mean, we can even touch on that now that it's released. The last time we got together with Headology, we were talking about the set. It hadn't come out yet. Now we've all drafted it. The last episode we did of this podcast was just kind of a personal interview almost with DeFore, which was a great episode. You guys should go listen to that. But the limited episode we did before that was pre-Spider-Man. Now Spider-Man's come out, and I'm pretty sure it's universally reviled. I mean, I know the sales are down. The prices of collector booster boxes are coming down. We've got people like straight up all the limited content creators that do competitive content are not even making content about this set. They're straight up just saying, look, we're not going to do any of this. From limited resources to Lords Limited, all these big limited, creators, they brought back flashback drafts that were unannounced because I think they saw how bad the numbers were for Spider-Man. They brought back what are fan favorites in Duskmorn and MH3. So I mean, can we just say Spider-Man was a complete failure across the board? What do you guys think? How about for Constructed? Is it salvageable? Is it still, are there good cards in the set?
Like
That
standard
sound says it
perspective,
all.
yeah, like from a standard
Cavero?
perspective, Cavero Multiversal
One,
Passage, like
the
2,
land.
maybe
Well,
3 cards. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it
it's
will.
pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't.
mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite set, to be honest. I like Aether Drift more than Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's been
I'll be
rough.
honest.
So
I think Aether Drift is underrated, but even I can accept the like really faint praise that's like oof.
So the reason I'm tying Spider-Man into this, I want to say right now on this episode, before we started recording, we were all kind of sitting here saying, what do you want to talk about today? And
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, yeah, like since the last time we spoke, there's a bunch of different things that have happened, but it's almost like this general kind of malaise that's hanging over Magic. There's a real bad vibe in Magic right now. Spider-Man flunking out is a big part of that. I mean, but even before that, I mean, when they announced that Spider-Man was going to be totally disassociated from the paper set in terms of flavor and names and everything, everybody kind of went, "Oh my god, that's it." That's like a lot of people checked out at that point, but there were still
Mm-hmm.
people who were hanging on, going, "Let this set release, let it come out." Just like Final Fantasy, a year when they announced it, I'm like, "This is bad. This is going to be. Let's wait. Let's see what it does." And Final Fantasy was a great set, but what it
Mm-hmm.
did to the prices and all that stuff, it's exactly what we were worried about. Spider-Man just flunked out as an actual set. Like people just don't like, and the pick two thing. I mean, and anyway, top to bottom, it's been a mess. And then, of course, in the middle of this, they announce next year we're getting 7 sets. And, there's going to be more Universes Beyond sets than standard sets in Magic. Magic is only 40% of Magic now, starting next year. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
only 40% of the sets released are Magic sets. The rest will be Universes Beyond. That hurt a lot of people. They said, "What? This year we got 6 sets. Next year we're getting 7 sets?" How like we thought 6 was a lot when they announced 6 for
Yeah.
2025. We were like, "Wow." And then 7. And now Mark Rosewater has said that they don't plan on doing 7 every year, but I don't know if these sets sell well, why wouldn't they keep doing this? So that
Yeah.
kind of put a pall over everything. I'm trying to hit on everything here. So suddenly we have
Yeah.
people like Brian Kibler and Saffron Olive, big cheerleaders of Magic who have huge, communities and platforms, putting out videos. Like Saffron Olive put out a video breaking down the finances of Hasbro, which are publicly available. It's a publicly traded company, and it is insane how much of the revenue that Hasbro generates is from Magic. It's somewhere like 80 to 90%. And if you actually look at the numbers, Hasbro would be failing. They would actually be in the red, losing money every year on all of their other brands, the toys, the board games, everything they own. The only profitable division in Hasbro last year was Magic, and it was so profitable that it kept the entire corporation in the green. So, like, this is all tied together. Like, Saffron Olive breaks it all down. And people are like, and he's basically saying, look, like, they are milking Magic the Gathering for all it's worth because it's their only golden goose right now, and it's literally keeping the whole thing afloat. And then you've got a video with Brian Kibler saying Universes Beyond is destroying Magic, and this is why. And he touches on a lot of the points we've made on this podcast, and you can hear it people say elsewhere. The sets are disjointed. They don't feel like Magic sets. From a flavor perspective, for the impact on Constructed from cards like VV2 not getting the shock lands in a timely manner like we normally do. We got 5 shock lands with EOE. Normally, you would see the remaining shock lands get printed in either the next set or one set after. But now it's getting pushed back 3 sets, 4 sets because of licensing issues. It's going to be in the beginning of next year, which throws off the mana in Standard. A lot of players who don't play competitively don't understand the impact of this, but getting good mana in Standard is the difference between a deck being tier 1 and not being tier 1. It's a huge thing, right?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
If you like go onto Arena right now and try to build a Selesnya deck, good luck.
Yeah.
Like because it's just it's rough.
Even a
and
2-color, yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain 2 colors that are very easy to do and quite solid, and like there are some that still have part of the reason that Dimir is so good is that it has the shock land and it still has its fast land. It's like, or no, it doesn't have the fast land anymore. But anyway, it's still got it's doing a lot.
It's got water grave. Yeah, blue-white control. Like they lost Seachrome and one of the other duels, and boy, what a hit to the mana base. And they don't have Hallowed Fountain yet, so they're just like,
And it's funny, Astrals, you mentioned Multiversal Passage seeing play. Part of the reason Multiversal Passage is seeing play is because we're still missing 5 of the fetch lands, and certain color combos just need it. Like, we'd rather not be
two-color
running
decks. Vivi was running Starting Town, for God's sakes, and Vivi still has its fast land and whatever, right? Anyway, so it's crazy times right now. A lot of it is tied to this. Like, there's a lot of negativity around Magic. Now, I know I'm Mr. Negative officially. They put me into a card.
It's really
so for me. It's bittersweet because I feel like I've been the canary in the coal mine for a long time, kind of saying this, and a part of me is even like, I'm being too doom and gloom here. There's the Mr. Negative. They gave me a card in Spider-Man.
It's wild. Well done.
But it's crazy. It's kind of like a part of me is really sad to see Brian Kibler and some of these people saying the same things now, like saying the negative things that now there's a bunch of Mr. Negatives out there, and a lot of them are big supporters of Magic for many years. It's crazy to see it. Part of me is like, finally somebody else is taking up this banner. Maybe something changes because these voices are much bigger than mine. But part of me is also really sad to see that. Like, it's gotten so bad that now it's not just me saying stuff about this. It's like big content creators, and so it's really, I don't know. So in the middle of all this kind of uncertainty, and Standard is really rough right now with them announcing that basically we're going to ban VV. Like, they all but said they were going to ban VV on November 10th. And so they just created this bizarre limbo purgatory that we're in between now, or between the announcement and November 10th, where we know VV's going to get banned. What do you do in Standard? People playing Standard who are now getting into Standard maybe want to go to RCQs. They're not going to spend hundreds of dollars on a VV deck that they know is going to be banned. Meanwhile, the metagame, VV's still the best deck. So, like, if you are competing, what do you do? Do you not play the best deck? So, like, online and some of these other, arenas, on Arena and on Magic Online, you see people playing all kinds of different decks. There's a lot of experimentation happening because I think a lot of people are assuming that, the metagame is going to shift. So there's nothing to do until then but just have fun. Let's play whatever. It's so weird what's happening in Standard. They also abandoned Pioneer, so Arena just doesn't have a lot going on. The limited set that they put out recently has totally tanked. Pioneer, they've basically abandoned. They said 2027, no Pioneer again for 2 years in a row. No RCQs, no anything. Like, wow, they just
And the professor over at Tulane Community College put out a really good video about that, specifically about Pioneer and like why it's basically dead. And the one point that I really appreciate, he brought up the fact that there are currently 20 sets legal and standard. And there was a time when the 8-set standard was the huge standard. And because now we're getting more sets per year, and on top of that, they're legal for up to 3 years now instead of up to 2. And so because of the sheer glut and just how huge standard is, the idea of extending standard into anything else is just unnecessary now. The notion of a card rotating faster than we wanted, and so having a place to play it, like, that's not a desire anymore. By the time something leaves, we're all glad to see it go, and we want to change. There's
100%.
no thing that rotated too soon anymore. That's just not a thing. And so the idea that the general vibe, the general like need that Pioneer was addressing when it was first created just doesn't exist. So what's the value in keeping it going? And on top of that, with power creep, I mean, what Pioneer deck is going to be more powerful than the current standard decks?
Well, look at Pioneer. Most of the top decks are all cards from Standard. Like the red-black deck, the last time we had any kind of resemblance of a Pioneer metagame with a competitive tournament, red-black was the best deck. I think it was a regional championship, and almost all the cards were like Fable of the Mirror. Like, all of them were Standard powerhouses from the last few years. Like Thoughtseize is the only outlier, and Fatal Push. Every other card was like, FOMO's in there, and Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and the Vampire, and all that stuff. It's like, it's fascinating times. So in the middle of all this uncertainty and everything, they drop spoilers for the upcoming, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set. And man, there was some negative reactions to that. What did you guys think about these spoilers? You've seen them, obviously, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about them?
It's interesting.
Like, and I like TMNT.
I like the approach that's kind of going on. I think they've captured like the aesthetic of TMNT. Like to me, for what we've seen flavor wise from the set, it's like Final Fantasy. I think they've done well to capture the flavor of the set. I worry about the power level of the set though.
Mhm.
I don't know that it's going to be
For standard, you
strong.
mean?
Yeah,
Oh, you think
I
it's gonna
don't.
be too weak?
I think it's going to
Oh.
be a weak set. We've seen only just a couple
Oh.
cards. I think the flavor will be on point, but I do worry about the level because like there are 7 sets coming out every year. Every set thinking it's going to be impactful or have to go in, like one set's going to be stronger than another. I worry we're going to see that this is like a weak set, which may
True.
not be a bad thing if they downscale the power level standard because it'd be nice to have a bit of a longer
Yeah.
game than turn 5, turn 6. I wouldn't be opposed to
Well,
that. I do kind of miss that.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think the power level, especially as the card pool grows, it's what Ham was alluding to. It almost
Mhm.
becomes the power level of Pioneer. Even if the individual
Exactly.
cards aren't great, like you just have so many cards that like the combinations become infinite. They start getting to the point where you can build crazy synergy decks. Ham, what do you think? What do you think about TMNT?
I mean, it's like every other universes beyond that we've seen, like I was really stoked on Final Fantasy because I love those games. I don't care about Spider-Man because I'm pretty ambivalent to Spider-Man. Like I've seen the Sam Raimi movies and like I don't
Yeah.
know, it's fine. Like and like I get if people are into it, but that property doesn't do it for me. And with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like I watched the cartoon as a kid and I
Mhm.
enjoyed the movies and all that jazz, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, and there's so many interpretations that I haven't consumed, including the original comics. Like, so I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't. There's a ton of lore and a ton of stuff in that universe that I don't know. I could take it or leave it. So, um, I don't really care if I'm honest that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set is coming. I'm always glad that when if people are happy, like if people are excited about it, cool. I want them to have fun. But I don't know. The card designs that we've seen so far don't really
Yeah.
strike me as particularly interesting. Like so for the video feed, I brought up Heroes in a Half Shell, and yes, in my head I say Turtle Power every single time I say that name, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Um, but it's a 5/5 for 5 Wooburg, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Haste, and whenever one or more mutants, ninjas, and or turtles you control deal combat damage to a player, you put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures and draw a card. This is just Scion of the Earth Spider or whatever. Like but it's with turtles and ninjas. Like I don't know
Yeah.
the 5-color legend that just does the thing. I'm getting so tired of that archetype. And this one puts a counter on all of them and draws you a card. It's like, it's the most paint by
Yeah.
numbers 5-color value thing I think I've ever seen. And it's like, they're not even
Yeah.
trying to hide it anymore. And
Yeah.
so, like, how am I supposed to get excited about this? And like, I feel like a lot of the other cards in this set that we've seen only a tiny portion of it. And like, we still have how many sets before this thing actually comes out? Like, so trying to
2.
make trying to make big judgments about it at this point, I don't know. There is one card in this
Yeah.
that has me intrigued, but it's just because I really like Rotting Regisar, and that's Bebop and Rocksteady. Like,
Ooh, yes, this is a cool
this
one.
is
Yeah.
this is the most me coded card ever, and yeah, Astros, our Jund correspondent, I know can back me up on this. Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady,
Hugely.
7/5 for 3, and whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, sacrifice a permanent unless you discard a card. Which like, oh, there's this downside. It's like, wait, I get to either
No, it's
sacrifice a thing or discard a thing. That's raw value, and this triggers fight
yeah.
raking. Shut up, take all my money. Like, yeah, this thing's
Yeah.
insane. So for the kind of decks that I like to play, this card looks great. For
Sure.
but I also will be
But it,
surprised if this is worth more than $1 after release because like
right.
it's narrow in its application. So
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, it's very uninspired. We literally had a
mhm,
dinosaur that did essentially exactly the same thing. It's like
pretty
the
much.
heroes in a half shell. Like it feels like
Mhm.
that's just literally for commander players so that they can play all 5 colors and all the ninjas and all the, types that care about like that card is like that's why we have so many of them. Yes, they're all the time. It's for the casual crowd, right? But
Right.
I am wondering about, yeah, like all those kind of cards just like they're so tropey at this point. It's like a trope we
Mhm.
keep seeing over and over. Yeah, uninspired is the way to describe it, and that was the general reaction that the
Mhm.
community I heard everybody kind of saying these do nothing for me. These aren't even like very interesting designs. Yeah, they have flavor because the art's on them, but like as far as the
Yeah.
card design for the game itself that we're going to be playing with these, like it doesn't feel
We've seen it
unique or
before.
special. Yeah, like it
Yeah.
just feels. Are all the
Yeah.
sets going to be like this? They're all going to be very similar designs to what we've already seen, except they've got whatever slapped on, whatever coat of paint, the universes beyond that we're visiting.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
given the volume that they're pumping out, how can they I mean, of course we're gonna see patterns in it, like
Mhm.
how can they avoid that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It just,
So
yeah,
so
I,
anyway, Magic's
It
been in a weird place for a while. Yeah, like all this.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Astrals.
No,
Were you gonna
I
say?
was gonna say, like, it's interesting. Like, I was looking back the last few years. So the biggest change, if you look back at the number of sets we've actually had per year, the average release of sets has been around 7 to 8 sets per year. But those have been because the supplemental sets have been specific for like either commander or they've been specific for like modern, right?
Oh
Targeting to
yeah,
that. So now
right, right.
seeing the
Modern
impact of
Masters.
that, yeah, modern masters, double masters, all that
Like
supplemental
all
stuff.
the
Oh,
Dominaria remastered, Innistrad remastered, those
yes.
set. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So like the total set count per year usually was ending up at being around 7 to 8, but now all of that feeding into standard, this goes to Ham's point. It's going to be monotony. How
Hmm.
many
Yeah.
times can you reinvent the wheel? How many times can I see a vanilla 2/2 or stick vigilance and death touch on a 1/1? Um, I don't know, make an 18/6 drop with no text
Yeah.
at this point. Like there's a level where you just can't repeat everything, and you have not even just reprints, it's functionally the same card that's in standard. We have what is it, like two different ways that you can do not seize the spoils, but like demand answers, discard a card, draw
Hmm.
two cards. We have like
Hmm.
3 or 4 different ways to do that in standard right now, between a sorcery, between an artifact and an enchantment.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, and because
Like
for limited, they need stuff like that for every limited set so that
absolutely,
the limited
Oh yeah.
environment functions. But of course, when
completely.
standards this huge and there's 20 something sets, then we end up with 15 copies of each of these kind of
Hmm.
effects. Yeah. But you brought up an interesting point with the master set. So Mark Rosewater went on the record and said they are not going to be printing any more master sets, Modern Horizons, any of that, at least for the next few years because of this, obviously the cadence of Universes
Hmm.
Beyond sets. When you think about the impact of that, it like break that down a little bit. What he's saying basically is, those master sets were a way to keep the price of modern in check. They would reprint a lot of format staples. They would keep the prices down on a bunch of stuff by reintroducing more copies. Same with the remastered sets.
Hmm.
That's the primary purpose, was to keep prices for casual, communities down for these mythics that were powerful back in the day, but now they haven't seen print in a while. With that going out the window, like it's going to affect prices of older formats because we're not going to get reprints of stuff that is expensive, and Commander, not just modern, but
Hmm.
also, it makes me wonder, like, those were some of the most powerful sets in existence. Like, Modern Horizons sets literally dictate what sees play in Modern. Every single time they put out a new Modern Horizons set, the whole
Hmm.
format rolls over and becomes
Hmm.
primarily cards put out in that set. So when they do away with that, to me, it implies that some of the sets coming will have to put cards into modern and those formats. These universes beyond sets that are taking the place of Modern Horizons and Modern Masters. I mean, there's got to be some stuff in there for modern, right? Which makes me worry about standard when they're pushing the power envelope that high. Like, I hope I'm wrong here, but again, this is kind of what we were saying before, where I was mentioning when they announced Final Fantasy and all these sets were going to be in standard, saying they want to sell these sets almost more than they want to sell their own IP because they really
Hmm.
want to establish good relationships with other companies, and they want these projects, these collaborations to go off well. So it really behooves them to push things because the harder things are
Hmm.
pushed, the more they're going to go for. If people see a
Yep.
crazy VV spoiled in a set, that thing is going to get pre-ordered out the wazoo, right? And it's going to be so hard to get whatever. Um, so I'm worried that Master Set's leaving, being replaced by Universes Beyond, and of course the natural inclination for them to print strong cards in these alternate IPs is going to make things even more exacerbated. These issues that we're describing that are plaguing constructed competitive formats like Standard and Modern. So, oh man, I'm sorry. I just had to get
Oh.
it all out. It's been so hard to just like I've talked about this on stream. There's so many things going on. So I feel really bad to say that like over the last few weeks, I haven't been playing much Magic.
Hmm.
I've been playing my dailies and then
Hmm.
I'm almost immediately switching to other games. And when people come into me playing another game and say, "Hey, why aren't you playing Magic?" I say, look, like I only really engage with Arena. I don't play on Magic Online, so I can't play Modern. I can't do Vintage Cube. I would love to do that stuff. We'll touch on that maybe after this, but
Yeah, we will.
um,
Yep.
but on Arena specifically, like I'm into competitive formats. There's only Standard and Pioneer. Alchemy, Historic, and Timeless are kind of pseudo variants of Magic. They're not really competitive. They have no correlation to competitive, the RCQ season and all this other stuff. So it's just Pioneer and Standard, and then Limited, right? And now they've kind of abandoned Pioneer, so it's just Standard. And because Standard's in this limbo because of VV banning, there's like, what am I supposed to play? Like, I feel like there's no point in trying to nail down the metagame in Standard. We don't know what the metagame is going to be until VV's gone. So I'm
Yeah,
just
until
kind
it
of, I
shifts.
don't know. I haven't been playing a ton. I know you guys have probably you still jam. You like playing Brawl and other stuff, right? Like you're still enjoying Magic
Yeah,
You
these
know,
and
days. Mhm.
oh, go ahead, Astros. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm still jamming Standard. I have noticed, like I don't know, maybe it's Ham, you've seen it too, but like definitely it feels like certain viewership levels have dropped, like
Big
with
time.
the last few weeks. Because at this point, what's the meta until things change? Like it'll be a
Mhm.
little stagnant. I was gonna say to the point, did you realize we didn't get an alchemy set for through the Omen Pass?
Nope.
Yeah, I
So
guess not.
I didn't notice because every
Maybe,
time
I
a new
know.
alchemy
maybe
set drops, I'm on Arena almost every single day. And like when the alchemy set, every time the alchemy set's released,
you're
I'm just
like,
like, oh
whoa.
yeah, that's a thing. Like, oh
Yeah,
right, that's coming. Okay, neat.
I
I
didn't
guess.
even
Like, I
know.
just,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
I
don't
know.
So
pay attention to that. I do
Yeah,
not care
I
about those digital cards. I just truly don't.
complete
Yeah.
same boat.
yeah.
Not my kind of
hmm
format either. But it's just
But
if you
that's
look at
a
Avengers, like
notable.
we're
Yeah.
It's interesting.
like
hmm
Yeah.
exactly. Like, we talk
Oh yeah.
about declining and caring of formats. We're not seeing something for timeless. We're not seeing something for historic. We're not seeing anything for alchemy. Standard.
Please let them kill
So
alchemy. We can only
I'd
pray.
be fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hopefully
don't.
they kill. They should have killed it a long time ago. It's
Well,
just distraction
nobody ever
and
asked for it. It's the silliest thing. But anyway, yeah, that is what
yeah.
it is.
So talking about Cube, they did make
Yeah.
this announcement that like it's not
Mhm.
vintage Cube, but what they said is there's going to be a new format on Arena because people love Cube. I love Cube. I mean,
Cube
by
is
the
fun.
I'll draft a new set for a couple weeks, but yeah, there's the point where the set kind of gets old or maybe it's not so good, and then they bring back Cube right before the next set. Oh, best time. But they did announce they're going to put the Power 9 into the Arena Cube. The actual like Power 9, full Power 9 because it's already there, right?
Mhm.
Because of Oracle
They've
of the
coded it on
Alpha
the
and whatever.
client.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Oracle of the
Yeah, yeah.
Alpha with the Alchemy card, and back in Theros Beyond Death, they actually ran a limited event where Black Lotus was like in a pre-constructed deck. It
Oh,
was the
Oh,
dumbest
cool.
thing, but it was on the. It's been on the client for years,
yeah, you're right.
on
You're
the
Okay.
back
right.
end. But yeah, it's
So the
that event
vintage
was
cube,
not good, which is why they didn't go back to it. But anyway, yeah,
yeah, but well,
yeah.
they're doing this because they're introducing. They keep putting these crazy, weird legacy staples. Like they're putting sneak attack, and they're putting like
hmm
what was the other one? They're putting a bunch of like legacy cards into Arena, and they're going to be in the cube as well, along with the Power
Hmm.
9. But of course, one of the big issues a lot of people have with the cube, there's two issues with this cube, the way I see it. The first, it's going to be fun, but the first is alchemy cards are still in the Arena cube. And if you have drafted Cube on Arena anytime in the last year, probably since Grenzo and those cards started showing up,
Hmm.
alchemy cards are on a different level. Like when they push these
hmm
digital designs, they often come out of the oven being way stronger than any regular card has any right to be. That's like the best cards in the Arena Cube, almost all of them are alchemy cards. They're all insane. The last iteration of the cube had this alchemy blue green 2-drop that like made one of your random lands in your deck tap to draw a card, turn it into Library of Alexandria. That thing was insane. All the heist cards are insane. Like there's yeah. So that's a downside to this quote unquote arena vintage cube that they're
Right.
bringing. The alchemy cards are still there, unfortunately. The other issue is the buy-in. So they announced that the prize structure, is going to mimic exactly the premium draft prize and buy-ins.
Hmm.
So 10,000 gold to draft,
Ooh.
1,500 gems. The prize payouts are the same, except if you get 5, 6, or 7 wins, you get an additional prize pack, a new pack called a cube pack. And the cube pack's only 7
Hmm.
cards, but it's like all rare, or it's a bunch of rares and specific things. A couple of mystery guest cards that are like timeless. They call them timeless cards. So yeah, like
Mhm.
Entomb or I don't know, whatever,
Hmm.
Strip Mine, whatever they put onto Arena. But remember, it's Phantom. This is Phantom. This is Cube. You're not keeping the Power 9 for your collection on Arena. So you're paying the same amount as a premier draft, but you don't get 3 boosters. You're down that EV already. You don't get to, tick up your wheel and blah blah blah, open these packs.
Mhm.
But they kind of tried to offset that by offering these cube packs. But of course, the cube packs are these additional prizes that only come after 5 wins. So if you don't get 5 wins, you're not just out
Yeah.
you get a little bit of gold or whatever gems and your prize packs, but you're out all the packs that you would have normally opened. So it's not
Mm.
great EV for these drafts. It's really weird, but if you're a good enough drafter, the EV balances out. You not opening 3 packs, but getting these cube packs as prizes if you do well enough is going to hopefully offset that. What do you guys think? Pam's not so sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I already have a feels bad every time I don't get to 5 wins on a draft just because I don't get my money back,
Mm,
and that's
mhm.
frustrating enough already. But like, oh, now I also don't get to take any cards home with me. What the hell? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't love that. Um,
So that's
but
coming. We'll be
but
doing some
at
drafts.
this at the same time, so okay, the prize structure seems a little like I wish it wasn't Phantom because crafting
Mhm.
these cards for like Brawl and stuff is going to be ridiculous. So I like
Oh
that's going
yeah.
to be a real, I would imagine, mythic strain for a lot of folks, and that
Yeah.
sucks. Like that's a shame. So I wish you could just get these. Like I wish it wasn't a Phantom
Yeah.
event because also like it's not
Yeah.
like they're actually giving you copies of Black Lotus. That's not going to change the market value. Their arena collection, like, what's the harm in that?
Well, Black
Um,
Lotus is more worthless than a card like Thoughtseizes that sees playing a bunch of formats. Let's say you were playing
True.
all the formats on Arena. What
Mhm.
can you play Black Lotus in? Timeless. That's it. Like it's
Right.
some other card you could play in Pioneer.
Right. And
Historic,
so like well,
timeless,
and
whatever.
so as a result too, like when you're, if you're crafting that, like why in the world? Because it's going to be pre-banned in Brawl, right? Like so what's
It would
the
have to be,
I don't
yeah.
even know. Yeah. I guess can you craft the Power Nine once that cube comes out? I don't think you can.
I
They won't let you
mean,
No, I
craft
wouldn't
them.
maybe.
think
I
you
mean, are they going to be in the prize packs? Like are they going to be in the cube packs or no? I don't
I don't
know.
know. They didn't
I
actually
don't think
Yeah.
say that.
so.
I think they're just in the draft. Yeah, I
Okay, which
agree
is
with
fine.
Astros. I
Like
don't
if
think
Yeah.
they're
you can.
legal, if they're straight up not legal in any of the formats, who cares? It's like
Yeah,
that,
then
and
it's
with that's
yeah.
fine. I'm not saying that we need access to those. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Well, there are other
but
cards though that you're right, like
but
Sneak Attack and they just put out Strip Mine and I don't even know what weird stuff, Show and Tell and whatever. I don't or Show and Tell was already out. I don't
yeah,
know.
Show and
Yeah,
Tell was
that
out
Like
there.
was
Sneak
already out.
Attack was out there too. Yeah, we
oh,
have Sneak
okay.
Attack on the
I
client as
don't
well.
know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was in the bonus sheets have introduced a ton of that stuff already, and
Yeah, these
Yeah.
so,
bonus sheets,
but
that's
like,
what it is. Yeah.
are we gonna get Force of Will? Have they confirmed whether or not that's in there?
Oh,
Because like
Force of
that would.
Negation. Force of Negation's a big one that's coming. Is
Force
it
of
already on
the
Arena? If it's not, it's coming.
I
That's a
thought
big one
I
that a
thought
lot of people
Force
wanted.
I
Is it
thought Force
already on there?
Negation
I'm not
was.
sure.
I could be
I don't think
wrong.
Maybe it
it's
is. Again, I
yet.
can't keep track. I know the last one was
Oh,
Strip
for sure.
Mine and like Exploration or Recurring Nightmare, like weird, like
Mhm.
old stuff like this. It's so weird. They put these out in these, yeah,
Oh, it looks like
I don't know
it,
what
I
they're
don't
called.
believe so. Looks like it was not.
Okay, so I think
So
Force of
yeah, so
Negation
that's a
is
big one.
coming. That might be
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
that
might be a
should be
big one.
coming.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
7 or 8
notable.
cards,
But
right?
I
Yeah.
just asked because like that's the one thing that I hear about Timeless is like Timeless is like
Mm.
vintage power without any of the checks and balances of like the free counter spells and interaction.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Pretty
like so
much,
give
yeah.
us days,
Yeah.
give us force, like give us something. Like we need like
Yeah.
because like if can surgical extraction stop you? If not, well get wrecked, I guess. Like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so that's
but
coming. But speaking of limited, so Cube is coming. That'll be interesting. You can probably tune into some of our channels. I'll be drafting it.
oh,
I'm sure
absolutely.
our limited homies will be drafting it. I don't know about you guys. Are you guys planning on drafting some vintage Arena Cube?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah,
Honestly,
Maybe.
probably.
I have heard so many good things about the Vintage Cube on MTGO that I've
Oh,
seriously considered
oh,
actually starting an MTGO like account and figuring out how the heck to work that client just to play it. So this sounds
um,
perfect. Well, I'm not going to bother now because we're going to get a Vintage Cube on Arena, so we're good.
yeah.
Like,
As
yeah,
much as I love Vintage Cube is the Cadillac of draft formats. It's the
that's what I
king,
hear.
the
Yeah.
best. It's amazing, but it's Magic Online is so bad to use that even though I love Vintage Cube that much, I won't
Mhm.
even do it. And I used to play on Magic Online exclusively back in
Oh wow. Yeah.
2005, 6, 7, you
Mhm.
name it. I had a big collection. I sold my collection for hundreds of tickets at one point. And you try and turn the tickets into money on eBay or whatever back in those days. Um what was I gonna say?
I
Yeah,
remember them.
Vintage Cube is awesome. It's great. You should draft it. I mean, you could watch LSV videos. He's been putting up Vintage Cube videos for months and months and months, years a year at this point. But
Something like
just
that, yeah.
Vintage Cube, I really recommend watching some of his videos before you draft especially if you're drafting for money or even online like putting gems. See Arena, like watching a vintage cube of actual vintage cube draft and then trying to use that to be good at Arena vintage, it's not going to work out. There's still too many outliers.
Oh
Arena cube
sure.
has all these weird alchemy cards and still many of the staples in vintage cube are missing from Arena still, so it's like but at the same time, because you get an idea of what the combos are and what the kind of crazy stuff you can do, Yeah, it's an awesome format. I love it. Anyway, so
I'm
that's
interested in
coming.
this
But
one. Yeah.
speaking of limited, we're talking about Vintage Cube and drafting and stuff. They announced this limited championship that is they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
announced this today. So they're saying for next year, qualifiers are going to start next year in 2026, which is only a few months away now. There's going to be events. Now, what they said was these are going to be called LCQs, and you can actually use them to qualify for the regional championship, just like you would go to an RCQ. Except they are separate from RCQs. So the first thing I said right away was that, well, shops aren't going to run limited RCQs anymore. These are the limited RCQs. They're
Hmm.
going to do RCQs are just constructed, and then these are going to be limited. So I don't think some people saw this and like, oh, we're getting a lot more events. There's more ways to qualify. It's like, no, 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 that's not true. These are just taking the place of the limited RCQs that already exist. It's going to be sealed into top 8 draft, just the way limited RCQs are now. So I can't imagine any shops are going to run a limited RCQ and then also run an LCQ, and these are separate things. Like they're not. So it's they're just calling it something else. I don't think we're getting extra qualifying events here. However, there is going to be an LCQ on Arena, which is new.
Hmm.
That's awesome. So they announced there's going to be an actual LCQ way to qualify for the regional championship on Arena, which there isn't currently. The only thing you can qualify for on Arena is the Arena Championship, which is a whole
Hmm.
separate wonky tournament that like I don't know. It's a weird outlier tournament. It's very strange. But maybe I should run down the notes here. So it's going to be qualifying events in 2026. The first limited championship itself will happen in 2027. It's going to be a $500,000 prize pool with payouts similar to a pro tour. So this is almost like a limited pro tour where the whole pro tour is going to be limited. They even said the structure of the event is going to be like a regular pro tour, but I guess instead of the standard portions, they're just going to have more drafts. Or I'm not even sure. Maybe it's a sealed
Which
event to kick it off. Like we don't
It
know
could be,
yet. They
yeah.
haven't said.
yeah.
That would be cool. You can qualify by being one of the top 16 drafters from the 2026 Premier Play season. World champion, a limited championship qualifier event gets you in. You qualify through regional championships, the Spotlight Series, Magic Cons, and Magic Arena. Yeah, that's the new one. So that is good news. So real
Hmm.
life events aren't going to suddenly double. They're these LCQs are essentially being ripped out from the current RCQ system and made their own thing. But you get a way to play one of these on Arena. Now, we don't know how many. I don't know if they're going to have one next year on Arena or if it's going to be like every 3 months or like it could be very sweet if they run a bunch of these limited qualifying events. Um, I don't know. It's weird to like see this. It's weird. But like go back 10 years. The limited portion of the Pro Tour was the least viewed portion of the Pro Tour. They would do limited Grand Prix back in the day. I've been to some. And even as late as 2019, I went to GP Bangkok. It was Throne of Eldraine Limited. And they were huge, 2,000 players. Like lots of people loved them. But when they would stream it, they would get a fraction of the people watching. It's very clear most
Mm.
people don't want to watch limited. They want to watch constructed. Constructed is the big draw still at the pro tours everywhere. That's why they did away with limited GPs after that. That was it in COVID and everything. So to see them kind of go, whoa, we're gonna inject all this life suddenly into limited, like this is a big thing. This is a whole circuit of events, and they're really putting a lot of um, oomph behind the limited format suddenly, which is very interesting to see. Normally they treat limited as kind of like, oh, people love it, so let's include it, but we want to get people to play constructed. But I don't know, the whole dynamic of the game feels like it's so in flux right now and shifting. Like they focus on the casual Magic variants almost in every set now. Competitive constructed is really taking a back seat. It's basically on life support now. Limited is there, again, because limited is a way to sell packs, right? Like it makes sense for them to focus, especially with all these new sets coming out every year. So this
Hmm.
is big news. If you like limited, oh, you got to be over the moon. This is huge for limited players. And if you don't know how to draft, now is a great time to learn. Get into this. You're gonna have more opportunities than ever to uh, earn prizes and rise up the ladder if you want to try and be a competitive Magic player. Like it's never been better for limited players after this announcement. So I know you guys aren't primarily limited, but it's kind of a big deal. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
it's just
Definitely
weird.
No,
interested to give it a shot.
no, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it getting supported because I don't know, at the risk of maybe I don't know about overselling it, but at the risk of being a little maybe heavy-handed about it, isn't limited kind of one of the purest ways to engage with definitely a set of Magic, like, but
Oh
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
kind of one of the cleanest, most straightforward ways to
Yeah.
just
It
check your
encompasses
skill as a
all.
Magic player. Like at the very, I don't
Oh
know. It's
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's the hardest way to play Magic, full stop. And it doesn't matter what we're if we're talking about a standard set or cube draft,
Hugely, yeah.
like it is the
Mhm.
most skill intensive way to play Magic, not close. So yeah, you've got deck building, you've got the card evaluation aspect. Like a lot of constructed players play top decks, they just copy and paste off whatever.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
they struggled still with card evaluation. Even listening to people talk about spoilers every time a
Oh
new set
yeah.
Yeah.
gets spoiled. I have to seriously put the kibosh on people that are like, "Oh my god, this is going to be amazing." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa,
Mhm.
whoa. Like you're way over the moon on this card. It's not going to be that good." Or
You're
maybe
right.
this card that, stock up. Nobody was raving about a card like stock up, but it's
No,
quietly like people who
That
look
was
at it and go, "Holy
crazy.
holy
Yeah.
crap, this card's nuts."
this is the
Like your
yeah.
card of
What
yeah.
and to the point where I think stock up just happening is the only reason why people realized Consult the Star Charts was so good.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
one of those like if stock up hadn't just shown up, Consult would have been one of those where like a handful of us would have been screaming about it, and a bunch of people were like, "It's fine, it's
Sure.
just some cards." No, you don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah, I miss
yeah,
that stuff all the time. I
sure,
wasn't raving. I was like, oh yeah, stock up. This is gonna be it's a great divination. It's another one of these divinations that's really good. But
totally.
then you play with it and you're like, oh my god. Like it was like
Wow,
Fable
yeah.
of the Mirror Breaker.
Yeah,
Nobody
it felt
called
that way.
Fable of the Mirror
Nobody,
Breaker.
nobody.
So it's
And if anyone tells you that they
yeah,
called Fable, they're lying straight to
they're
your face. The
lying.
market value on Fable the Mirror Breaker for the first month it was legal and standard was $1. Nobody had
Yeah, dude.
any idea how good that thing was.
In
Yeah,
my decks, it started as a 2 of, and then it was a
they're
3 of,
just
and then it's a 4. Like you
exact.
have to
Yes.
play with it, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh my
Oh,
god, this
wait a
card's
minute.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So people missing on how good a card is happens a lot. But
All the
people
time.
missing or people thinking a card is better than it is, and most of the cards are not as good as you think they are. There's these
Yeah.
outliers, but boy, people card evaluation skills sometimes are like yeah all over the place, and I think it's because they don't play limited. But the more you
Mhm.
draft, the better that you hone that skill. So anyway, it's what you were saying. Yeah, very skill
Yeah.
intensive. So it's a great way to play Magic. Everybody should learn to draft. Um, I'm not
Mhm.
a deck
And
builder. That's where I do my deck building. I don't brew. I just limited is where I do it. For me, that's the deck building part.
Hmm.
But
I
yeah,
I think another aspect for what's really interesting for limited too, right? Like not only do you have to evaluate the cards, like you said, not only does it test your deck building, but analyzing what cards everyone else is taking, so you know what's in your pool. Because
oh
there are
yeah,
times when you can actually steal specific cards, like as it's going along, like oh,
hate
someone's
draft. Yeah,
drafting black, maybe I'm gonna take like this black removal spell, so I deny the person 2 seats down, right? Like there is a mental aspect game to reading how everyone else is drafting, so you can pick up what cards to take for your own while
oh
denying them
yeah.
at the same time. So it's kind of like a
Oh yeah.
3D chess in a way.
Oh god, there's
Yeah.
so much information happening during the draft, and especially if you're drafting in pod, like at a
Mhm.
store or whatever, not on
Mhm.
arena. But yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Sorry,
playing the
Hannah, you
games
gonna
with folks who no, and the draft is its own game. It's a completely
Yeah.
different game from Magic. It's
yeah.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So
No, it's
anyway,
great. Big fan.
eating well. If you're a limited aficionado, it's
Mhm.
going to be good times coming up. So those are all
Yeah,
the big
buddy.
announcements. Um, so weird
Yeah.
times. I don't know. I'm glad other people are able to enjoy this game. I feel like when I look online and I see the commentary about Magic these days, I feel like it's this bizarre polarization where I see half the people out there saying Magic's dead, and then I see the other half of the people saying we just
Mm.
had the best selling set of all time 2 months ago, you morons. Magic's not dead. It's better than it's bigger than it's ever been. And I'm watching this back and forth and I'm like, both of these parties are right.
Mhm.
The Magic the
Absolutely.
Gathering that we knew, that I grew up with, that I've been playing for 30 years, I think is dead or it's almost
Mhm.
dead. It's dying. The game that's called Magic the Gathering now in 2025 and going forward, going by their roadmap that they've put out, it feels like it's a different game by the same name. It's they call it Magic the Gathering, but it doesn't feel like Magic the Gathering at all. Is it big? Yes, but is it Magic? No, it's something else now. It's like a mutated form of the game that I hardly recognize almost sometimes. Right now, it's
Yeah.
still in the early stages. By next year, it's going to be unrecognizable. You're going to be Captain Spock versus Raphael, the Ninja Turtle versus Captain
Zuko's
America
coming
is going to
down
be in there.
firebending on the attack.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So Magic is dead, but the game that we call Magic still is bigger than it's ever been, and it's almost like there's these two different games in my mind now. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know how else to describe it. Such a weird
Yeah.
vibe right now. Yeah. What do
It's
you think?
definitely changing. And the
Mhm.
question is, does that mean that the magic you love is dead, or is it evolving into something else that you can also learn to love?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah, good point.
it,
Maybe.
it's
Maybe I can love it.
you know, but it is definitely changing. That is undeniable. It is very
It's
different from what it used
unrecognizable.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely, yeah.
Mhm.
So weird times, really weird times. I want to keep engaging with Magic. My community. I mean, my viewership is totally tanked because I don't play Magic anymore. But
But
I don't really care. I play games for my own enjoyment.
dude, I
But
appreciate that you're doing that though, because I know like my viewership is down the last couple of weeks, and I just assumed it was because I was being a total negative Nancy about pretty much everything.
oh,
Like, and I've been really
It's the same for me.
it's
I've been
so
kind of
easy
just
to blame yourself.
unpleasant.
No,
It is. It really
And
is.
somebody
no.
mentioned, somebody was saying that like no, it's down across the board. Like Magic is just
Yeah,
down right now, and like even
yeah,
the biggest streamers are seeing a notable hit in their viewership right now because it's just people aren't engaging with it with the same fervor they used to. And my hope is
yeah.
when a new set comes out, like once Avatar drops, maybe we'll see another. Because like when Final Fantasy hit, my viewership bumped, and I think a lot of people
Oh
like
yeah.
the excitement was really high, and a ton of like there were a bunch of new faces, and I have a bunch of new chatters who I see every day now who came in around the time Final Fantasy hit. You know, and that's amazing. Like the community was growing as a result of that Universes Beyond, and then this one just like, nope.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens from here. But
Yeah. I
it's
just
wild
hope.
to see.
I hope the
Yeah.
Spider-Man dip can be, the game. I hope people will recover from it, but I think the
Yeah.
Spider-Man blow to people's confidence in the game, it really shook a lot of people. Like the whole debacle
Mhm.
with the Into the Omen paths and the fact that we're gonna have that again next year for Avengers. I think those sets that's what caused a lot. A lot of people love Final Fantasy watching you
Yeah.
stream on Arena Ham because they are seeing the same cards they play with in real life,
Yeah.
but they can't do that with Spider-Man or the Avengers or whatever else down the road. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe that's
So
part of it, but
good. I
it's
mean,
such a crazy time. Yeah.
kudos to you for
Mhm.
just playing other games. Like it's like I
Mhm.
don't want to just do
Yeah.
that. I'm just gonna do something else that I enjoy, and I'm gonna continue to bring positive
Yeah.
energy. And people who want to participate are welcome to. Let's go. I think
Yeah.
that shows a lot of credibility, and I really respect it. So yeah, good
I
work, man.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that said, it's nice to hear, and I try and do what I feel is right for me and my channel. But at the same time, it's undeniable that it has seriously affected my channel's metrics or whatever. Right? Like
Sure.
normally, there's a couple sites I use to go get free game codes and stuff, but they'll only give it to you if you have a certain like 30 average viewership or 40 or 60, depending on the game, how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now some of those sites, I can't get keys for the game because my viewership is so low now that the average isn't high. Like, this kind of it
Oh no.
actually affects
Yeah.
me. It's frustrating, but I get it. I think it's fine. And I don't blame
Mm-hmm.
anybody who still obviously streams nothing but Magic. That's totally fine
Sure.
too. But
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
has to make their
Mhm.
own decision, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah, it
hoping
can
I can
be
come
the
back.
right business move for. Yeah, it is what it is. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and I hope no, VV getting banned. I hope Standard turns around a little bit after that, and maybe Avatar's a great set for revitalizing Standard or what have you. But I don't know. I think the issues with Standard and stuff are bigger than whatever the set that's coming out next is. It's the quality or the
Mhm.
quantity of the cards and the quality and the
Yeah.
effect that Universes Beyond is having. Like again, Brian Kibler, talked about all this and many other big content creators. When you hear people who are that big like start complaining at that level, it's I don't
It says
know. It
something.
kind of shakes your yeah. Anyway, so hopefully people listening out there are still loving the game, and if you are a competitive player, there's still hope that Standard is manageable. Maybe if it gets too crazy, they rein it back and we see less, I don't know, less
Yeah.
sets or a more of a focus on Standard. I really think the solution is to break out uh, the Universes Beyond sets into a separate kind of like you can release six sets a year, but only three of them are going to be legal in every constructed format, and the
Yeah.
Universes Beyond sets are legal for the non-constructed, like the way it was with maybe with Lord of the Rings. Like let them be modern, legal, and beyond, but not for Standard.
Mhm.
But I don't think they're ever going to do that, right? Just the money, like they want to sell as
So,
much as possible. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like the entry level for players, if you make everything at a standard basis, its legality is there at the base, you can get everyone at a base level.
yeah, right. So I don't know.
Um,
I don't see it changing, but that would be a great solution. I think that would solve a lot of the problems, but they
mm,
would make less money. So anyway,
So we can't have that.
um,
Yeah.
can't have that. But red line must go up.
Oh. Yeah, always,
Um,
always, always, always. Yeah.
So I don't know what
Nice.
else there. I'm looking to see if there was anything else. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Anything positive to talk about today about Magic? What are you playing in Standard? What decks are you playing?
Smoke
Hon-
surprise.
Heck
Of
yeah,
course
man.
you are. I knew that. Why didn't I say that?
I have like 3 different versions of Insidious Roots. I can't stop. So it
Oh,
is what it
yeah.
is. Well, but honestly though, like the reason for that, the reason I keep going back to that well is I've
This is good.
tried to brew a couple of times. Like I've been trying to find some other angle, and like one, none of the Spider-Man cards are inspiring in the slightest. I have no desire to build anything off of Omen Paths. I tinkered with Eddie Brock. I've done the Cavero thing. Now what?
Yeah,
You know, like it's
I
just
did
like
too.
I feel like web slinging is just trash. Like they're just not good. There was one deck that somebody turned me on to that was a like pixie deck that used some web slinging cards alongside the Dazzling Theater to create an infinite
Oh.
loop, and that was neat. But it was one of those that had like 4 or 5 moving parts, and like there's no way this is going to be competitive. This is just the neat play queue thing to do, which is great. We need those. Like let's play with some Magic cards in fun ways. I'm all for that. But that was one of those where it's like I don't really have a desire to like try to tune this and make it ladder viable because like I
Yeah.
don't think we're getting there with it.
You could,
Yeah.
you
So
could
like,
tell the juice
but that,
isn't worth the squeeze. Yeah.
but literally like, so the last 2 weeks I've been doing a lot of viewer submitted decks on my channel to let people highlight what they've been working on because I'm out of gas, man. Like I'm out of inspiration, and so like I've just been
Wow.
opening up I have a brew queue extension, and I've just like normally I do that once a week. I've been doing it 3-4 days a week now. I'm just like whatever, like just open this up, let's hit the like, and that queue gets
Just have
pretty
fun.
long. So the idea of taking some time to really like chew into it is not a bad thing. But I've been doing that, and it's like on the one hand, yes, I'm highlighting my viewer stuff, and I'm hopefully providing a fun show and some value that they get to see their decks highlighted. I hope, but like it's also partially because like I don't know, man. You guys write the show. I got nothing like because right now in Standard I'm tapped out, man. Like to the point where tomorrow I have a Pioneer deck I'm going to tinker with. That's a rehash of a Standard deck I made like 4 years ago that I really liked and somebody reminded me of. And I was like, ooh, let's just try to power creep this with Zombifies and throw it into Standard or throw it into Pioneer and see what happens. That's what I'm planning on doing.
I'm curious.
Like,
I want you to tell me next week when we do the podcast, or maybe if I'm not here, say how long are you waiting between matches for Pioneer? I'm curious. And I you stream kind of
Ooh.
early Eastern
I
time,
do.
but I'm starting to wonder who the hell is playing Pioneer on Arena? There's like this. It's like 20 people. It's like the same 20 people who've been playing Pioneer forever. I don't know. I'm wondering. I think at some times of the day or night, depending on your time zone, it's probably like 5 minutes between a match or more. But for
It's possible.
Pioneer, I'm curious.
I'd
I
be
haven't played in
curious
so
on that
long.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
So,
I'm chilling on like Platinum 3 or whatever because I'm just not grinding and like tuning on the ladder at
Yeah.
all. And yeah, so starting in Platinum in Pioneer with whatever nonsense MMR I'm working with. Yeah, how long did the matches take and how big is the rank disparity? Once I finally get one. Yeah, we'll find out. This should be interesting.
yeah. So anyway, I'm curious. Let me know because I don't know what's going on with that
I'd be happy to
format.
report on that because
So
I
weird.
think I'm gonna just see how the other half lives and see how bad my viewership tanks playing Pioneer. We'll find out. That's anyway.
And Astrals, what do you think in the next few weeks? Are you just playing Standard? What are you getting into these days?
I'm just gonna stick to Standard. I mean, I'm gonna jam some Final Fantasy on the weekends and stuff, but like
Heck yeah.
I don't really get a fix from playing Historic. Alchemy doesn't interest me. Pioneer, I pivot to it once every maybe 6 months for half a week, and then I go back to Standard and Timeless. I just without force of will, I have no interest in Timeless because it's a show and tell meta, and I play Legacy, and that's my fun because it's a fair and balanced format.
Do you play Legacy in real life?
I do, yeah, in real life and
Oh, I didn't
on
know.
MTGO as well. The only problem with
Awesome.
Legacy right now is Oops All Spells is unchecked and so is Reanimator, but aside from those two,
Reanimator, yeah.
It's a great format aside from those two. Like if they answer if they end up banning Intome, I think that would be big enough because then it's just not you're not instantly getting like Archon or Atraxid or Grizzlebrand at turn one. Less likely anyways, and then Oops needs to get a hit. They need to do something about either the modal lands or cut like a Balustrade Spire or something. Because that like right now, I my first Legacy deck was Oops All Spells. And you like for those that don't know, it's Oops All Spells because it doesn't play lands. You flip your entire deck. It brings back 3 Narcomoebas. You sack the Narcomoebas to a Dread Return. Dread Return casts an Angel of Glory's Rise, which then brings back Thassa's Oracle to win on the stack. Because no cards in your library. It's a very weird deck, but it's a very cool one.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Oh
powerful
yeah.
deck.
but
And Reanimator's been one of the best decks for
yeah,
a while. Like they banned
mm,
Grief, it was still the best deck. Like
yeah.
Reanimate might be needing to go, but Entomb's obviously the big one. But yeah,
Yeah, the whole thing is because you just get something in the graveyard to bring back right away. Like if you strip
right.
Entomb, it's a little bit more manageable. But
I mean,
aside from those two decks, it's a great format. I mean, I love playing Mono Red Prison or Red Stompy as this now.
oh yeah,
You play the One Ring, you play some Lord Royce, and you go to town
some
making
Blood
power with
Moons,
copies of yeah. You don't
Magus of
play a
the
ton of Blood
Moons.
Moon actually. You do three
No?
Magus and two Blood Moon.
Oh, okay.
Because of they did
Different.
the recent change on sagas. So sagas
Oh,
don't
there is
get
a
touched by
saga.
Moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so the saga
Yes.
still
Mhm.
retains its ability as long as it has the lore
Okay.
counter. So,
Crazy.
but it's still fun.
Yeah, Legacy's a blast. I used to
Mm.
play Legacy a lot, but almost finished a Legacy deck before the pandemic hit and I moved. But cool. So, but Timeless, you're saying, yeah, totally different than Legacy, no
Yeah,
checks and balances. So, Gong Show, not interested.
basically, that's
Interesting.
it. Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, standard wise, I'll jam Smuggler Surprise. I have a blast. I've got like 5 different ways to play it, and it's just
nice.
bread and butter. It's fun.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Heck yeah.
I lose to it a lot. Still lose to it. I lose to it a lot. It's one of the cards that just they always get me. I'm like, oh right, Smuggler's Surprise is still legal. I lose. All right,
Yeah, and step
on
him to
end
tap
step
out
or
for my
whatever.
consultant star charts. About that, bam.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
like
yeah.
Oh, that here's a Progenitus.
yeah, appreciate
Yeah, the
that.
deck
All right, let's go.
the deck I'm still playing for what it's worth. I'm playing the Jeskai four color deck, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I've been playing this deck since before right after the banning. They banned 7 cards and I scoop one of the members of our channel. I'm sure he's in your guys'
Yeah,
channels as well. I know
Mhm.
he's on a
Scoop's
bunch of
good.
our channels.
yeah, Scoop's good
He
people. Yeah.
said, "Do you like mystical teachings?" And I'm like, do you even know who I am?" Yes, I love I'm all about it. I played that card a ton. And he's like, it's legal in standard now, mystical teachings. It's been legal since Foundations came out. So he sends me this list that's like a wild 5-color list with Songcrafter, Mage, and all this
Silly.
nonsense. And I'm
Ooh,
like,
that's
okay,
spicy.
first of all, let's get all this green out of here. Let's just make it Jeskai, and we're only going to touch black for mystical. So I play this deck. I end up like tearing into Mythic. I went from like platinum all the way to like top 200 Mythic with it the first run. And then EOE comes out, and I'm like, oh, let's put star charts. That's
Mhm.
perfect. It's such a crazy control deck, right? It plays no creatures, so you make all their
Mm-hmm.
removal dead, whatever. So star charts came in there, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is even better. We're doing really well with it. And then it starts popping up. A list shows up on the Magic Online Challenge, 4-color,
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same as my deck, except they're playing No More Lies and they're playing Inevitable Defeat, basically for
Yep.
VV, just to hit the cauldron and hit everything. So I'm like, oh,
Sweet.
this Inevitable Defeat, I'm not so sure. So I tried a couple, and then Shahar Shenhar comes into my stream and he's asking about the deck because he wants to play it, and I'm like, oh yeah, we did it, blah blah blah. And I think somebody told him that I've been playing it for a long time. Now this deck's suddenly putting up results. It just took down like an RCQ recently. It's showing up in these online challenges. I'm like, oh
Uh-huh.
my god, I
I
can't believe this deck is, yeah,
It's
in
going.
it
It's going.
in
it
Atlanta
caught
at
on.
the yeah, in Atlanta we did the standard paper
Mhm.
tournament. It knocked me out of that. Like it's yeah, I
No
actually I
kidding.
played against it in
Oh my
paper. That
god.
deck slaps. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if
That
it's
was a
tier
blast.
1, but people think it is.
It's
It's putting up some
it
results. It's
it's
kind of
real.
crazy, but
Yeah, it's
I've
definitely
been
It's
real.
a
playing
real
it.
Yeah.
deck. Yeah.
I've been playing it for a long time. I think OKI Scoop got the list from Saffron Olive. He put out a list way back, like last year when Foundations first dropped with Songcrafter and all that. The list OKI Scoop showed me was basically the same list, but he cleaned up the mana a little bit. But just cutting the
Mm.
green and stuff just made the deck so much better. And then I don't know if I don't want to take credit for it, but I know there's maybes. I never saw it once until that challenge, and I'm like, holy crap! It's the deck that I'm the only person I've ever seen play this deck. Now suddenly it's everywhere. I'm like, oh my god,
I mean,
how
you were
did somebody
part
see
of
my
the group.
stream?
You were
I
definitely
think
Sure.
part
I
of
Yeah.
the group
yeah.
that
I
helped
can't
boost it.
believe
I'm
it.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like shocked.
Whether yeah, it's not
Anyway,
your deck necessarily, but you were part of the group that
no.
like made it happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
It
Scoop
was
is
the
Yeah.
part of it.
collective.
It's
Yeah, no,
yeah, it's that weird
mhm.
evolution that happens. It's wild. And other people ran with it. They put in more inevitable defeats, and that ended up being a
Mhm.
good move. I put in the Mistrise Village. That's been such an insane
Oh,
control
dude.
That
mirror
card's so
crusher.
good.
So
That's
good.
so good.
Yeah, it's insane. My record against blue eye control is like 13-1 or 14-1 or something because they just can't
Hey,
even
same
even
here.
Yeah, nice. Oh, it's Smuggler's Surprise, yeah. But
Yeah.
Mysterize is
That's so
nasty.
good.
The only deck that plays
Oh,
Demo
yes.
Field is Blue White Control, but they only play a couple copies. But post board, you have
Yeah, it's like 2
Tishana's
of.
Tidebinder and stuff to protect it. I actually have a Mysterize in the sideboard. I bring it in out of the sideboard against Control.
Sick.
But
Oh,
I love that.
that's clever. That's
now
clever.
I think I saw a version, one of the versions that won one of the challenges or top forward or whatever was playing Cursed Recording as a one of in the Jeskai
I've seen
deck. Can you
that.
imagine? Yeah, I was like copying.
That's a
So
choice.
I
Okay.
yeah, I'm like, that seems so win more to me, like copying a Jeskai Revelation, or like, do you really
Yeah.
need to do that to win the game? But OK Scoop tried it and he said it's actually pretty good at making No More Lies relevant in the late game because if you
Hmm.
get to double No More
Oh, if you
Lies, then
double dip it, sure. Yeah, yeah.
that was my issue
Okay.
with No More Lies. It felt like it's such a dead card in the late game, and this deck just wants to get to the late game. It's a 27 land,
Mm-hmm.
control deck.
Mhm.
But I guess that helps. Anyway, some innovations. It's a fun deck. Give it a shot if you're out there listening. It's
Yeah,
really fun to play.
interesting. Awesome.
Um, anything else? I
Cool.
have a question of the week.
Okay.
It's a dark one.
Ooh.
It's a
Uh-oh.
on theme for Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
I
Uh-oh.
don't know. I've been playing Magic for a long time, and I remember so much about those early days, like in the '90s and stuff, playing Magic. But somehow this never crossed my radar. I've seen this card. I've never played with this card, but I've seen it in people's trade binders. I've seen it at when I was a kid, like people playing with it and stuff. Um, Gazban Ogress. Do you know the story behind this card? It's absolutely mind-blowing. I could not believe they printed this card. It's based off a real person who
I
used to
think I
play
heard about
Magic
this.
back in the day. She was a prolific Magic player in the '90s, a pro Magic player. She won some big tournaments. And they I guess they wanted to, like, she dated another pro Magic player, so they just
Hmm.
put out this disgusting card. Maro printed this, approved this card and everything, and put it out. The only reason I know about this is because this lady, who's now in her 50s or whatever, came out and said, she made a video saying, look, like, this is why I haven't played Magic for this many years. This whole thing with this card was so insulting and so degrading and stuff, and it's disgusting.
Jeez.
Gazban Ogress, can you find it? Bring it up. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if
yeah.
you can
I got
find
it.
it. She comes into play
Yeah.
and she changes, just like the card Gazban Ogre was this 1-drop 2/2 that would change control. It was from Arabian Nights, and every time a
Okay.
player would do damage or something, it would go to the other player's team. So they made this card. It kind of looks like her, but like an uglier version of her because it's an ogre. And
Hmm.
two other men are basically playing a card, and she's the winner. Whoever wins the game of Magic gains control of Gazban Ogress. So she's like this, it was this kind of implied thing that she was getting around and whatever, and like just super degrading. This is a real card
Hmm.
that got printed. And many years later, recently, Maros officially apologized to her and said this was insane. Like, back, it was the '90s and political correctness was non-existent, and we thought this was a funny joke to print or whatever. So they printed this stuff. So anyway, the reason I'm even talking about this, I kind of went down this rabbit hole after watching this video. I just was,
Hmm.
my jaw was on the floor. I had no idea that's what this was referencing, and I had seen this card many
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and I was just like, mind blowing. So I actually looked. Apparently, I don't know if you know this. We know there are cards that they've done away with in Magic because they're offensive. Back in those days, there were
Mhm.
Yep.
many cards that they printed.
Quite a few.
There are
Yeah.
actually 7. There are 7 cards that they've removed from the Magic kind of sphere and said, not only were we
Hmm.
never going to reprint these again, but those are officially cards that are stricken off the record for all intents
Mm-hmm.
and purposes. They don't exist in
Wow.
Magic.
Yeah.
So my question of the week is, on this dark day of nothing but negativity, what are the 7 most offensive cards ever printed in Magic? Gazban Ogress is number 8, would be the 8th, but
Right.
it was because it was in an unset. They don't count it as an actual, 7 cards
Right.
that came out in real Magic sets that they said are done, stricken from the record, will never be printed. We don't want to acknowledge their existence. There
I-
are 7. Can you name them?
I have a couple of them.
I could not.
I'll let you team up, work together. How many can you come up with here? Go.
I
There
couldn't name
was
any.
Cleanse.
Cleanse, yes.
Cleanse. Invoke Prejudice was like the poster
Invoke
child.
Prejudice.
There
is
was
a big one.
Rock Slinging Devils, I believe, was one of them.
Yeah,
Um,
Stone Throwing Devils. I
Stone
didn't know
Throwing
that
Devils.
one. I was.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, that
yeah.
one, because
From
when that
Arabian
list
Nights.
came out, when that list came out, I remember looking at that, being like, really? What's the story there?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay, you got 3 of them. Pretty good.
There's a group of there's a something.
There's a big
gypsies,
one.
like Argivian gypsies or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Pradesh Gypsies.
Pradesh
That's
Gypsies.
close
That's the
enough.
one.
You
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
you got
So
half
that
a
one
point.
was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
Pradesh
is a big one.
Gypsies. I was, that's another one. I remember playing back in the day, and it didn't even occur to me. Oh yeah, that could be yeah, it's definitely offensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you
So
know that's 4 out
I
of
got
7? You're
4. I'm pretty happy with
close.
that. Oh, what was?
There's some easy ones, and when one of the big ones that you're missing
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, go for it. What do we got?
it's from Alpha. It's from Alpha Beta Unlimited and revised actually, and 4th edition. I think it went all the way up to 4th, but it was one of the original Magic cards from the original set. Offensive.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not.
You know what the most offensive color in Magic is? White. White has the most. How it's a white card.
Of course it does. Astros, you got it? 'Cause, yeah. I'm
No.
not-
no,
Okay. All
I
right.
don't.
Oh, was it
Well,
Crusade? Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
right.
Crusade.
Yes.
Oh
that's
man.
right, 'cause,
Everybody
that one
listening
got-
at home is
that one got,
like
a 4th
Crusade.
edition or something. Yeah, like screaming at their phones.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Of course.
So
of course.
Crusade,
well,
obviously one of
I
them.
remember Cleanse because of its rules text. That one is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah, anyway, but yeah.
So
some of
Crusade,
those were
Cleanse.
really bad. But anyway.
You got Crusade, Cleanse, Invoke Prejudice, Pradesh Gypsy, Stone Throwing Devils. So there's 2 more.
2 more. There's one I can literally
Um,
see the image of, but for the life of me, cannot remember the name.
What color is it? Do you know what color it is?
I believe it was black. I think it was a removal spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a black
and
removal spell. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called
and
Imprison.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
That's an
Yeah.
offensive one.
And then what was the
And
last one? That one I'm
then-
not getting there. I'm sure.
Arabian Nights. Again, a white card. I owned this card, actually. I used to
Oh.
play this card. Yeah, in my red-white aggro deck back in the day with 2-headed Giant of Forest and Sarah Angel and a bunch of red creatures, white creatures. This was a pump spell from Arabian Nights. Similar sphere as Crusade, but maybe the other
Okay.
side of that coin. I don't know. Can I give you any more hints? You know,
Jihad?
right?
Yeah.
Jihad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jihad. So that's the 7. Invoke Prejudice,
yeah.
Crusade, Cleanse, Jihad, Pradesh Gypsy, Stone Throwing Devils, and Imprison.
And you'll
They
note
said they're never going
I
to prison
didn't
again.
pull. I did not pull those images up on the video
No.
feed. That was very intentional.
Not necessary.
Additionally,
Yeah.
when we do pull up the images for the video feed, we use Scryfall. If you go to Scryfall, those have like a content warning on them. Like, and
damn.
you literally, it's
Yeah.
just like if it like when you see like social media posts where it's like, okay, this might be graphic or whatever, like warning on this, like, are you sure you want to see this? It's
Good.
They put that up, which is great. Yeah, good for them for handling it. Yeah, that way.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of these, it's funny. Like I've played with either all of these or almost all of them. I never played with Cleanse. Invoke Prejudice, I remember seeing in people's binders and stuff, and never even clicking. Like it didn't click until I really looked at the art and went, "Oh my god, yeah,
Oh,
holy
wait a minute.
crap!"
Yeah.
And then you find out about the artist himself being,
Mm.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
But
Probably
Gazban
not a
Ogres is why I went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that story when you got to find the video
Wild.
of them breaking it down. It's crazy what they did. Like some of these, I get how they could slip through. Like Stone Throwing Devils is a really weird one. It's actually an allusion to when they printed Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights was based off real folklore, right? The actual novel 99 Arabian Nights or whatever. And they they pulled a lot of these things. There was this stone throwing djinn that used to be on the rooftops and it would throw stones at people. It was this like local legend, and that's where it came from. But of course, I think people like associated it with specifically conflicts in the Middle East and stuff, and it got kind of immediately, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even know people were connecting it to that. Holy crap.
Right.
So you never know. Like those are unintentional. Pradesh Gypsies, I mean, gypsy is an
the
offensive
word is
term in
problematic,
some
but we
places.
often
Yeah.
but it's easy to overlook if you're not
Right.
sensitive to that.
But some of them, Jihad, Crusade, like, whoa, Invoke Prejudice, like,
it's like
what were
really
they
yeah,
thinking?
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, like the 90s, man. Anyway,
it's wild, but yeah.
so
All right, that was a great.
You
That was a
almost-
cool question. Thank
very
you.
impressive. You almost got
well,
like
more
more
than
than
seven.
half.
I was
Yeah.
launching my YouTube channel when that was one of the news stories that I was following very closely back when I was much more
Okay.
diligent about keeping up with Magic news. So yeah,
I see.
so
Cool.
yeah,
Well,
fun stuff.
there you go.
But yeah, Dude, thank you for that question. That was delightful, and thanks for the conversation
You're
this week,
welcome.
guys. Yeah, it's definitely time for us to be bringing this in for a landing, but this was a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out,
Definitely.
and dear listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in, being with us. And again, apologies for the delay in getting this episode out. That's again 100% on me. Send all
And the
frustration my
ranting.
way. Yeah,
I apologize for the ranting. I
you're
really,
good, man.
I dumped on you
That's what the
guys
show
this
is.
episode.
This is
I feel like,
the Magic Rantcast. It's fine.
I
That's what we do.
I don't want to exaggerate too much. I love this game. I want to see this
Of course.
game continue to flourish and in the right ways. And I think criticism is good. Criticism, you need to
Absolutely
criticize
needed.
things, otherwise nothing gets better. You know what I mean? And so even
Absolutely.
though I sound negative and overly critical, it's because I love this game and I want it to be better. Just like you can be critical of your country, your government, a lot of
Mhm.
things, and it's a good
Mhm.
thing. That's what patriotism is, not nationalism. Sometimes I feel like I encounter Magic nationalists who just want to wave the flag. Magic's great, everything's great. It's like, no, if you really
It's
love this
okay
game,
to,
if you're a
yeah.
patriot, you criticize because you know it can be better.
Yeah.
You believe that it can be a better
Mhm.
thing, right? So be a Magic patriot, not a nationalist, and
I like that.
call it like
Yeah.
you see it. Criticize when it's necessary, but
Mhm.
yeah,
But
I do it
celebrate
a
the
lot.
good when it's there.
Accountability.
Yeah,
Enjoy. Yeah,
exactly.
celebrate the good and mark the wins because they do happen. They're still
Absolutely.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, still
absolutely.
some great sets coming out, and yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to. Limited, we talked about, so hopefully a
Yeah.
lot more Magic content from us in the future.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, absolutely. All
Better
right.
not
Well,
be.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate you, and we will be back next week. Mark my words. I will be here, and we will be here next week. All right. Later, everybody. Appreciate you.
See ya.